Today we're going to be creating 3 beginner-friendly projects using our Cricut and 3 files from our dollar event. So if you guys are not familiar, we host a dollar event every single month. At the end of the month, the last Wednesday, you guys can see our dollar event where we have huge bundles for $1. So today I'm going to be using 3 of those designs. So let's go ahead and head on over to Cricut Design Space and make them. Alright, so jumping right inside of Cricut Design Space, here's the 3 files that I am using today. So let's go ahead and start with our t-shirt. The design that I'm using for our t-shirt is going to be from this bundle right here that you guys can snag for $1. Alright, so I've already brought it into Cricut Design Space, as you can see, and I've already sized it out. So when you first bring it in, it's going to look like this. And what I've done is added an offset like so. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one so I can show you guys how I did it. You definitely don't have to add an offset. You can take the design just like this, come over here to your width and height and just set those. So it's a very beginner friendly project because you're just going to bring it into Cricut Design Space and cut it out. But I want to show you guys that you can add a little bit of extra by adding an offset. So I'm going to come right here to the offset feature, and then I've chosen 0.080, and then I've hit apply. So immediately it's going to turn it black, but I'm going to go ahead and change it to white. Now I'm actually going to even spruce this up even further, and I'm going to be using a pink glitter today. So I'm going to change that top layer to pink just so I can visually see everything. Alright, so while we're in Cricut Design Space, let's go ahead and work with our other 2. So for our second project, we're going to be creating a car decal, and the bundle that we're using is right here. So as you can see, it includes 20 different designs. So these are perfect for creating car decals, and so you can make these for yourself or you can even sell them. Alright, so whenever it comes to the car decals, all you simply have to do is bring in that design and size it out. So whenever it comes to creating car decals, all you're simply doing is using adhesive vinyl and a transfer sheet. So that's all you're gonna need for this. And then you just wanna size it out to what you want. So do you want your sticker to be around 4 inches or maybe around 6 inches like I did, because I want it to be nice and big and chunky on that back glass. So what I've done is I came up here to the width and height, and I came to the shortest one. So you can see that my width is bigger than my height. So I went ahead and changed the height to 6 inches, and this is what I've got. So this one right here will also be cut out in white, but I'm using adhesive vinyl for this one, so I'm going to change it to gray. That way the Cricut doesn't try to combine the 2 pieces of white I've got going on here. Alright, for our third project, we're going to be creating a Christmas ornament, and what I'm going to be doing is using adhesive vinyl once again and a clear acrylic circle. So I've got this, and I just simply sized it out to 3 inches. So for the ornament, this is the design that I'm using from this month's dollar deal, like I said, so you guys can snag this right now for $1. Now if you guys have not seen, I actually even did a video where I did wood burning with this one with the Cricut, and I'll show you guys that here in just a bit, but you guys can also do that as well, but today we're going to use adhesive vinyl. Alright, so like I said, I went ahead and sized that out to 3 inches. I just measured my acrylic blank and then went from there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut all of these out at the exact same time, so that way we can get to work and start making our projects. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and choose Make It. I'm going to go ahead and tell it we're going to cut on the mat today, and then there's a few things that we need to do. So we want to go ahead, I don't need to mirror any sort of adhesive vinyl ones, but whenever it comes to the HTV, the heat transfer vinyl, iron-on if you will, we want to make sure that we have those mirrored. Alright, now another thing is I want to cut this black one at the same time as that white one. They're both adhesive vinyl. I'm going to go ahead and click on the 3 dots here, and I'm going to say Move Object, and that way we can go ahead and add it to, let's see, this one right here, confirm, and then it's going to change it to the same color, and that's okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it all the way down to the bottom of the mat, so that way I'm going to load the black here and then the white here so I can cut them out at the exact same time. So now we're going to have just 3 mats. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and hit continue. All right, so from here, we're gonna go ahead and choose Premium Vinyl Glossy. I'm using matte, but I always use these settings. And then we are ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and load it. So let's go ahead and get our adhesive vinyl ready. So we're gonna go ahead and get that white right up here at the top. And I'm using Starcraft. This is the permanent in matte. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get my black piece right down here at the bottom. So as you guys can see, I was able to load both colors on one sheet. And then we're gonna go ahead and load it right inside of here. Now, whenever it comes to adhesive vinyl, I normally use my blue matte, sometimes the green, but I really do prefer the blue, but honestly, they need a good cleaning right now. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and load, and then once we get that play button, we're gonna go ahead and hit go. All right, so we're ready. We're gonna go ahead and hit go. All right, so we are ready. We're gonna go ahead and unload it. I'm going to flip this over so I can carefully remove these two, and then we're gonna go ahead and start to load our next pieces. So now we're working on the white. Now, if you're new and you're wondering which side do you load when it comes to HTV, you wanna load the glossy side down. All right. We're gonna go ahead and choose the everyday iron-on, and here's another tip in case you guys are new. If you come under remember material settings, if you're going to be using the exact same thing over and over again, you can do that so it doesn't keep asking you. Now I'm gonna uncheck that because I'm actually gonna use glitter here in a minute. So we're gonna go ahead and load this one here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hit go. All right, so let's go ahead and load it, and we're gonna get ready to load our last layer. All right, now when it comes to glitter, sometimes I even use my purple matte, honestly, because it really helps hold it down. If you're really struggling, especially if you purchase your glitter on a roll, just use some painter's tape to kind of help hold that down as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and use my green matte today. So over here, I'm gonna go ahead and choose glitter iron-on. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit that load button one last time. And while this one's cutting out, I'm gonna go ahead and weed this one out as well. All right, so I think we are ready to hit the go button. All right, so I've already weeded out my offset layer there, so we're gonna go ahead and weed out the glitter. So I've already got my Cricut Easy Press set at 330 for 30 seconds. So the very first thing I recommend when it comes to glitter is just start weeding. So sometimes it's really hard to tell, just start weeding. So grab a corner up here because obviously you're gonna remove a majority and then you can obviously weed all those inside pieces out. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up. All right, so as you can see, we've weeded out a majority of it. Now my next tip is when it comes to glitter, 9 times out of 10, you can weed this by hand. You don't even need a weeding tool until you get to those teensy tiny little pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue to weed it all out. And there you have it. We've got it all weeded out. So now we have our 2 layers here. So we're gonna go ahead and set those aside. And then we're going to get our little pressing pad here ready with our t-shirt. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get my t-shirt ready here. Next up, I'm gonna go ahead and take my Cricut Easy Press and I'm just gonna go ahead and remove that moisture for around 5 seconds or so. This is gonna smooth everything out as well. All right, so we're going to add down our very first layer. And by the way, I have this set at 330 for 30 seconds. So we only need a 2-second tack down with this. So we're only going to hit it with the heat for 2 seconds, and then we'll apply that glitter on top. Now the next tip when you're working with glitter is you can't layer on top of glitter. So I can't have anything else on top of that glitter, but glitter can go on top of the regular HTV. So we're gonna go ahead and fold this in half so we can find that placement. And then we're just going to place it around 4 fingers or so, 3 to 4 fingers on the t-shirt. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and figure out my center. Somewhere right about there, it looks good to me. Next, we're gonna go ahead and hit it, like I said, for 2 seconds. All right, we're gonna lift that out of the way. And now we are working with Caesar Easy Weed today, which is a warmer hot peel, so I can go ahead and peel this right away, even though I only hit it with 2 seconds. All right, and another tip with doing the 2-second tack down, it's not going to shrink. So if you ever have problems with layering and one piece is smaller than the other, you probably added way too much heat and now you've shrank your vinyl. So make sure that you do 2 seconds and not the full time. So the very last layer though, we're gonna hit it with that whole 30 seconds. So we're gonna go right on top like this, and you see how that little bit of an offset just really helps this entire design give it a whole new look. So I'm just gonna go around just like this until I have everything where I need it to be. All right, so I think I'm happy with that. I'm gonna go right on top this time for that full 30 seconds. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and remove this, and then we're gonna go ahead and peel. And there you have it. How gorgeous is this color? This is like a really pretty coral, but it would be so pretty if you did gold or even black with that white popping. Oh, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And there's project number 1. Like I said, that little offset just gives it a whole new look. So you can use the file as is or give it that little bit of offset just to give it that extra zing, if you will. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to project number 2. All right, so project number 2 is the car decals. So when it comes to car decals, you really want to use white because it's going to pop off your car window best, especially with the tinted windows. So I highly recommend using the white. So I'm going to go ahead and just weed everything out really quickly. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that because it is white, it is super hard to see here. The very next thing that you want to do is put your transfer sheet on. Now, another tip is when you're working with the car decals is you want it to be permanent vinyl because it needs to withstand the weather. Now, they can be removed later, but they are going to hold up a whole lot better. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just go down like a taco, just like this. And then we're just gonna go ahead and take that squeegee and really rub it out. All right, so the next step is you wanna go ahead and take a pair of scissors and then just remove any sort of excess just to clean it up and give it a nice shape. Just like that. Now I know it's hard to tell because once again, it's white, and then you can just leave it like this until you're ready to apply it to the car. You could sell them, whatever you would like. But I'm gonna go ahead and peel it really quickly just to be able to show you guys so y'all can see the design through here. And I'm gonna go ahead and get a background. So hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. So that's how fun this design is. I think it is so, so cute. Now the way that I apply these on the car is once I have these ready to go, before I peel it, I'm gonna go ahead and clean my car window. Then I'm gonna take a mister bottle and wet that car window. Then I'm going to apply it, rub it with a credit card, your driver's license, or a squeegee. And once you peel it, you're good to go. So whenever you squeegee, it's going to remove that water out from behind it, and it's going to leave no air bubbles. Also, I highly don't recommend that you try to do this on a super hot day. I really do recommend to do it whenever it's cooled down and you're not working with a super hot window. But there you guys have it. That's how easy it is to make your car decals. All right, so for our last project, we're going to be creating that really fun Christmas ornament. So you guys know there's always something trending every single year, and it's going to be a super hot seller, and this will be one of those items. So if you're somebody that sells stuff, this is going to be perfect for your shop. You could make them with acrylic planks like I'm doing here, or you can even use wood rounds like this. Now this one, I used torch paste, and then it just burned it right into it. But today we're going to use adhesive vinyl and acrylic just to show you a whole nother look. So if you want to see this video, I'll have it linked down below, and you can do it with this exact same design. All right, so I've already cut it out. As you can see, we've already weeded everything out. So the very first thing that you want to do is remove your plastic. There is a coating on these. So whenever you purchase it, it could be yellow, it could be solid white, but there is always usually a coating. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that first piece here. We're gonna go ahead and take that transfer tape, and we're going to pick this guy up. Like this. And what's really fun about this is you could use a holographic vinyl, you could use different colors, you could do whatever you would like. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and peel just like so. Once again, I am using Starcraft in the matte permanent color. Permanent? Matte vinyl. and permanent. All right, so now what I'm going to go ahead and do is just line this up just like so. There we have it. Now, depending on where you want it to be, I could have went all the way at the top and kind of poked that through, but I'm happy with this placement. So I'm going to go ahead and just rub everything down. Just going to rub it in really well. And then we're going to flip it over at an angle and peel. The very last thing we're going to do here with the acrylic is we're going to remove our last piece. So there is another piece of that coating on the back. And then here you have it. How cool is that? So I'm going to bring it up here so hopefully you guys can really see that. But I think it just gives it a whole another look with that acrylic. And then all you need is some ribbon or twine. I'm going to go ahead and just take some of this little twine here. And then we're just going to run it through here and tie. Now, I did find these last year at Hobby Lobby for $5, which usually the Christmas stuff's like 40 to 50% off, so around $2.50, but they should have them again this year. If not, I do have a link below of where I like to purchase, because you can get these off of Amazon as well. So I do have everything I'm using today linked down below. And just like that, we've created our very own Christmas ornament. And once again, whether you're making it for yourself or you're gonna sell, you definitely wanna snag this one for this dollar event. So there you guys have it. We've made 3 projects using our Cricut from those amazing files from this month's dollar event. I'm so excited about it. And I hope you guys will join us Wednesday as we go live and show you guys some more crafts. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.